Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of the Velvetcast.
Yeah, hey, what's up?
Oh, what?
Oh man.
What? Who are you?
I don't know. I don't know who I am anymore.
For those of you, this audio joke doesn't work well.
No, it doesn't because I can't hear myself right now. I muted myself. Well, whatever. It's fine. Hi, it's your boy Sora. I'm here with Mitch live in person in reality.
We're drinking a little.
I'm Josh. I'm very far away from those two, just like Mitch wants it.
Oh yeah, no, guys, we had to do this whole fucking setup. We spent the last 20 minutes setting it up just so that Josh can get his voice heard.
I have my kitty cat earphones on.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mitch.
I spent $100 and something on those headphones.
Wow. And they don't even light up when they talk. That's...
Well, I haven't charged them.
You have to charge it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, guys, welcome to another exciting episode of the
Not
Velvetcast.
Patreon money, by the way.
Not Patreon money. It's a giant asterisk.
Oh man. No, so a quick update on that, by the way. I'm having Aaron, our dungeon master for the Velvetcast, set up some sort of audio platform for us to just upload episodes of the cast. They have to get approved by Apple, but
okay,
it seems like we're actually on the path to get that done.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
And I will keep you guys updated through the Velvetcast, and hopefully we'll start having episodes go up on an audio platform because I would fucking love that.
That'd be dope.
So we're coming along, guys. We're coming along.
We're making it there. Hell yeah.
I will find my way. I
Now
can
it's
go
time
the
to do
distance.
PBS type membership drives, you know?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
I like that.
By viewers like you.
Night of No
Thank you.
Stars, where it's just the three of us.
Oh gosh.
No, so yeah, your Patreon funds are going to more fun stuff coming your way. What was it? So there's I recently let's talk about what this episode's gonna be about before, because I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. I was on vacation for most of last week, so I had that happen in my life, but that's boring. I don't want you guys to hear about that. So I mean, it's not boring. It was exciting for me, boring for you. So, so I dig myself in a hole. No, so. We're gonna go straight into it. We watched the last 4 episodes of My Hero Academia Season 1, and I figured we could kind of just go into it, talk about it. You know, this might be a relatively short episode of the Velvetcast because everything I'm gonna say is pretty positive, actually.
Yeah, right.
So let's get into that real quick as I switch the thing.
All right, so
the League
this
of
is the
Evil.
last arc of Season 1.
The League of Evil.
Oh god, these. So I pulled up the image for the. It's gonna be weird because I'm gonna get to say the phrase. I pulled up the image for the video watchers, but for audio listeners, it's just a picture of 3 assholes, who looks like they were designed by Hirohiko Araki, Kishimoto, and Oda.
Just all 3 of them, just
different. Oh yeah, different artists came in to design these different villain characters.
I mean, that's kind of part of the charm, I think, of My Hero Aka is just the variety of art styles you get out of these characters.
Oh yeah, I super love hands-on guy.
What's his name? Wow. Shigaraki. Yes. His design is so cool, and seeing him. I've seen manga panels of him, and he looks fucking menacing. I think he's one of the few characters that I feel like he looks better in the manga than he does in the anime.
Have you been reading it? Is that how you?
No, I've just Google searched. I don't know, just images of him from browsing the wiki and stuff like that. I think only Josh is reading the manga, right? I'm
yeah.
right now.
The funny thing about the manga is that the author is actually an illustrator by trade.
Okay.
So he's into the really high detail art. Rather than your typical sort of high efficiency manga art.
Is he still putting out chapters weekly then, or is it monthly?
Oh yeah. He's a monthly Shonen Jump author, which is what blew me away when I first started reading.
Got it. So he has the time. So he basically wow. I don't know the culture behind mangakas and how you get the monthly spot. I figured you had to be somebody like Araki who's a 20-year something veteran.
Monthly is usually done by specific other magazines.
Okay. Yeah, but
but weekly is this is the Shonen Jump rat race right here, and Like whenever All Might comes in, you just cannot believe that this guy is doing this like every.
Oh, so he is doing it weekly then? Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right, that's insane then. That's crazy. Wow.
Oh, okay. So these episodes, we watched the 4 episodes. It was a mini arc. The villains come in and start smashing up the school, and then the students have to figure out how to survive on their own. All of them do really, really well. We have some comedic moments with Frog Girl and Josh. And Josh represents 2 different characters.
Yeah,
now.
Josh is now Josh is now both Ida and Mineta, which are 2 very, very different characters. Jesus Christ.
I hold them within my soul. 2 clashing personalities.
He's physically Ida, but his soul
is Mineta. I think everybody has a little Mineta inside of them.
Oh, hell yeah.
Just a little bit.
Oh, hell yeah.
I have a lot, though.
No, that's the orbs that come out of his head. Is Josh's soul.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, his grapes.
He throws it away. No, everything works out fine. Aizawa tries his best to fend them off. 13 does their best to fend them off. The gender was kind of neutral, I noticed.
I thought it was she, but it could be there. Like, could be there. I don't know. No idea. There it was fine.
And then All Might comes in, tries to save the day. They find the weaknesses of the villains, and then as All Might uses up all of his strength, the other heroes come in. The other teachers, I should say, come in, including McCree. And
McCree, that's right. Yeah.
And they come and save the day. And the episode ends with, or the season 1 ends with all the student heroes together, walking down the hall, like they're all very proud of themselves, and they did a very good job. And the guy who got shot 4 times, going through his Symmetra turret portal, and being like, I
don't know if anybody's going to understand what went on in these episodes from this Cliff Notes version, but
whatever.
Yeah.
Well, watch the episodes.
They're so good.
if you haven't seen these episodes and you've been listening to our reviews for like the last few weeks, don't do that. Go watch the actual episodes.
Last chance after we've dropped all these spoilers, go watch them.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, the video is called Season 1 Review.
Yep.
I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, spoilers ahead. You clicked on the video. But, yeah, no, so the episodes are really solid, but I feel like it's kind of hard to talk about them individually because I feel like they encompass the whole season in itself.
Let's review what the plan for watching these episodes. We were only supposed to watch 2 episodes.
Yeah,
we ended up watching all 4 of last.
It was too hype. Josh knew after we ended, last week when we ended on just when this arc was getting started. Josh was like, "Oh, we're gonna finish the rest of the season probably next week, right?" And like, no, we'll watch 2. We'll do 2, and we'll see where we're at. And then 4 episodes later.
4 episodes later. I was actually just talking to one of the channel artists about how I haven't been watching a lot of modern anime. When I say modern, I obviously mean within the last
5-ish years, give or take.
Yeah, Fate Zero was the one that I can really kind of cling on to. There was also Death Parade, and there was a couple ones in between that. But this feels like the big shonen title I've lashed myself on to.
Yeah, right.
I think it's just Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece just sort of suck all the air out of the room when it comes to shonen.
Well, it's funny that you say that because they're dead now. 2 of those are dead now.
Yeah.
It's
the legacy of Boruto keeps going.
The legacy of Boruto.
Boruto is not a thing.
Dude, are you fucking kidding me? Boruto is super a thing.
Yeah,
I don't want it to be a thing.
Josh, you can't.
So stupid.
You can't pretend that it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And then
you can't pretend Boruto doesn't exist any more than
fake news, and I'm gonna just retreat into my safe space.
Piece of shit. Okay, so.
I feel like for the longest time, Sword Art Online kind of filled in that kind of big gap. You know what I mean? As far as shonen goes.
Well, that's the standard of a shonen series.
Okay,
not the standard.
To be fair, a few years back, I had the realization that I was just not into shonen anime anymore, thanks to a series called Blue Exorcist.
Okay.
Where Blue Exorcist had everything I should have wanted. It had interesting character designs. It had an interesting art style. kind of a cliched story, but it should have been something I was interested in, and it just missed every single mark somehow. And I had this realization of maybe I'm just not into anime as much as I used to be. So I took a break from the shonen genre.
Now, JoJo not included.
JoJo is such a weird
it's such a bizarre. It's its own thing, really.
But so this is the first time I'm really getting back into the shonen formula and style. And what's interesting about My Hero Academia is just I want to use Thor Ragnarok to kind of explain how I feel about this.
All right.
Where My Hero Academia is like the Marvel formula. Well, shonen is like the Marvel formula. Every series kind of follows the same kind of steps and same kind of views, and it's just a matter of how you twist it and turn it that makes it interesting. That's why I think Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece, we always go back to the big three in our generation, because they were, they had adventures, they had things that that made them similar and yet different. Well, with My Hero Academia, this feels very much like the Thor Ragnarok or the Guardians of the Galaxy, using Marvel films kind of as that example, where they do have elements of the formula, but they execute it in such a way, in such a delightful way, in such a different way, that it makes it interesting to watch and enjoyable, and like
new.
Right? It doesn't feel tired. Did I get a message from someone?
No, it's just Discord. Don't worry about it.
Okay. But yeah, so like, I go ahead.
I guess we can turn this into a broader discussion of like shonen series in general too.
If we're gonna do that, I'm gonna actually just. Okay, go ahead.
Yep, there we go. Nice.
I mean, it's something where I think part of it has to do with like Shonen Jump is part of what builds like shonen as a genre, I think. And I think the problem is, like Shonen Jump just eats through artists until, someone sort of sticks.
Yeah, like they're creatively tapped out, right? Like,
well, it's like I think Mitch and I read this one series called Magico way back in the day.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And it's like, while it was inoffensive, it was sort of something where like it didn't really leave any super lasting impression, like a year out. But I feel like for a shonen or anime or manga to really stick, it has to have something in it. It has to actually say something of value.
I would almost argue that like I feel like it's when you look at shonen anime, like I always feel like it's one of those things where it was the style, like let's take a look at Bleach, right? Bleach got away with how, like, for a series that we all kind of personally feel kind of weird about, it got so far through its style, right? Because
I mean, I think there's also sort of like the undercurrent of like rebelling against like society.
Sure, but like even beyond that, it was the art style too, almost, right? I feel like
I mean, the style is the substance in that series.
Yes,
yeah. Like, say what you will about Kubo as an author, but like his art style is fucking like his character designs are really on point.
Yeah,
that's why like I always think it's like the Bleach fighting games for the PSP were pretty solid, because it's like at least you had like this visual kind of spectrum of character designs in different sizes, and like the way that he would draw his like the Espada or any of the hollows and stuff like that when he first started, like they had cool fucking designs. And I feel like that's something that My Hero Academia also captures really well as we stare at the fucking heroes on the screen.
Yeah.
Like all the heroes look like they kind of fit in a mosh posh of heroes. Like Deku looks like he belongs straight in a Sentai series, while Bakugo looks like he could fit well in like the craziness of a Marvel show.
Sure.
Like,
I mean, it's also like everybody feels very distinct in Hiroaka.
Like you could take out like looking at the Class 1A, looking at this thumbnail, you could take any one of those characters and they could be a main character in their own show, I feel like.
Yeah, even Mineta.
Even fucking Mineta, yeah.
Yeah, like... Josh could have his own.
No, you know what I mean? But you can't say the same about that with Naruto, you know what I mean? Like they're...
Oh, you can't are you telling me you can't have the Neji show?
Right.
No, I love the Choji show.
You can't because he's dead.
Oh, yeah, right. I guess that also is true too.
Because his show would be a shot of
Jiraiya be pretty great.
His show would be pretty good.
His show would be a shot of a gravestone.
Just a gravestone for like 23 minutes.
Yeah. Fucking
damn.
No, but like that's the thing. So let's take that from Kubo and then switch over to Kishimoto real quick. What is it that makes Naruto one of these big series? It was always if I would argue that it's its themes, it's once again it's its style, but its style isn't as like its style. It's also its characters. It's how it deals with its lore and world.
Yeah, I would say world building, if anything, would be one of Naruto's bigger strengths. I can't really speak to the strengths of Shippuden as well, but like that was kind of what kept me invested in Naruto as a kid. Was like trying to figure out like how the intricacies of chakra worked, like how all the villages that were how they interacted with each other. And
you can apply that same logic to My Hero Academia, where you're introduced to things like like the Villain League or the Academy, or how things work, or introducing a hero that everyone else knows about but the audience doesn't know.
Right, and I don't want to get too much into this because this is kind of like season 2 of My Hero Academia also cashes in on that promise of like it explores more themes of how this society works, which I think is one of its biggest strengths that season 1 sows the seeds for, but like season 2 capitalizes it on a really cool way that I hope it does in the future as well. Where I feel like comparing that with Naruto, I feel like Naruto, it kind of from an outside perspective looking in, it kind of seemed like at the end they just kind of threw their hands up and like whatever, it's just going to be a big fuck you ninja war.
It went Final Fantasy at the very
right
end.
Yeah.
Like I think at the end of the day with the shonen genre, it's like the world doesn't really matter as much as like how the series like shonen feels like is something that it's very pathos driven, where it's like sort of like there's that saying that film is stronger than logic. With shonen anime, it's like the emotion is like the core. It's like the strongest thing that should motivate you to want to watch more. Right. It's not just the hype. It's like, with Naruto, it was sort of the feeling of being alone and sort of not having friends, and that was sort of like the main thrust of the series, I guess, until it got too bogged down in its own world.
Sure, and I think also another one of the things is the core, like one of the things I liked about Naruto so much was like the kind of the motif of all the trios, you know what I mean? Where like it built the foundation with Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto, and then like it kept doing callbacks to that, you know what I mean? Like, and then you had the trio of Jiraiya, Tsunade, and then Orochimaru, right? Like, and that called back to that. And then you had also Kakashi's trio with Obito, Kakashi, and I forget. And what?
Rin.
Yeah.
Rin.
Like,
Rin. From Fight State Stay Night! Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, that, like there was that theme of trios that kept coming in over and over again. It's like, so it was kind of that pathos going into, like, that's why I like Kakashi's backstory. It's like, wow, like Kakashi is built up as such a cool character by then, in my mind at least, as a 5th grader, where like seeing him like be sort of like I guess Sasuke in a way, but whatever, like seeing him growing up for a little bit, I was like, oh, like that's cool. And then seeing Jiraiya in a similar situation to Naruto with his trio, like, oh, like that's neat, like that's a cool callback, and that's why I like it. That's why I'm so pumped about My Hero Academia, because like I feel like that kind of pathos comes in with All Might's character, because All Might's like the kind of character, it would be like if Naruto's dad was just there from the start and able to be a father figure for Naruto, you know what I mean? Where he's a super badass, awesome hero, and like I don't know, he has the first season does such a good job of building up All Might as the symbol of peace that like you're fanboying with Deku whenever he shows up, like that fucking final no move fight, like that was good.
I think definitely.
What's that?
What?
Plus
Plus Ultra. It's like you have that moment in like the finale where All Might pretty much does one of those Giga Drill Breaker moments, right?
Yeah.
And you see like the Studio Gainax like cross-shaped cloud coming out of his like fist.
Right.
Like I think if anything, Plus Ultra is like the motto of the entire MA series. Like you have to surpass yourself, I guess.
Well, I think that kind of leads into maybe not leads into, but like because this then goes into the third motif of this example, which is Achida Oda's biggest fucking running goddamn series ever, which is One Piece. Now, there's a lot of different things that you could take from One Piece, but the idea is One Piece is a grand adventure. Something that a lot of fans really like about One Piece is that if you're like, oh, you're lost in One Piece, okay, just wait like a couple weeks or wait like a month or two, and a new arc will start. You can just pick up from there because not much changes in One Piece. Where I'm not saying that's comparable to My Hero Academia, but the idea is that it's an adventure. You are invested in those characters. I would say I'm more invested in Luffy and those characters of the Straw Hat crew than I am of Naruto and his world, or I forgot his name for a second, Ichigo, and his world. Like I feel because there's another thing that they kind of do well is they give you details of a character without giving you too much. I feel like that's one of the problems that Naruto actually had, was just that it explored, especially near the end, it explored too much into everything.
Everybody got a day. Got some time in the spotlight where they like as soon as
Naruto
you meet them,
became half backstory, right?
Right, exactly. That's the thing. Is that again? That's for me looking in. It's like wow, like. Half of it, like you guys are like, there's this whole entire Shippuden arc of like just all of, and I know I just praised Kakashi's backstory, but like just all about Kakashi and Obito, and I'm like, all right, well, there's other shit going on right now,
Backstory isn't character development, and at the end of the day, what matters the most is knowing what's happening.
Yeah,
and I would argue almost that like, because the one thing I love about One Piece is that. I guess until recently they did something with Sanji's character recently. I haven't been keeping up, but like Luffy meets Usopp, deals with Usopp's problems. Usopp joins.
Yep,
that's it.
It's like an RPG. You go meet a character, do his side quest. He's part of your party now.
Yeah, Yuffie's part of your party now, and that a lot of the characters feel like that, where it's like. Certain I assume that there's certain characters that you'll go more into their backstory later on, or at least bits and pieces of.
Yes.
But I don't expect it to be like, and then when I was in 3rd grade, I ate a tuna sandwich, and then Choji made fun of me for eating the tuna sandwich, and so then I injected nothing but like calories into his food, and then he got fat.
Right.
Like, I'm expecting. I don't expect that. I expect the same level of like the simplicity of the characters is what lets me enjoy them more.
Right, and I do
think. What are you talking about, man? I just want like a War and Peace sized tome about like specifically the naval laser guy. That will just make my life.
Just a 5-episode arc of just his backstory. No, I do think with the second season they will get into backstory more with other characters, but they usually do it where they contextualize it where it's not just a flashback of like, like even Fate Zero did this where like they had those 2 episodes out of nowhere that was just Kiritsugu's backstory, which were good. Like they were good episodes, but it was like, oh, we're in the middle of stuff here. Like,
okay. Yeah, no, especially because what happens right before that.
Exactly. Yeah, right. And so that kind of kills the pacing a little bit. Whereas, so My Hero Academia, you're going to get some backstory for characters, but they do it in the context of like they're actually thinking about it. You know what I mean? It's not just like and now we're gonna go into Minetta's backstory. It's like, he's giving his there's character development. They're actively thinking about what's going on, and then then we get like a brief flashback, and I'm assuming that that's them looking back at that memory. You know what I mean? So it's paced well enough where the plot is always moving forward, and you're not always looking back. You're only looking back to inform why the characters are struggling the way they are right now. Oh my god, I'm so pumped for the second season just because. Like, season 1 was hype. Season 2, there are like, oh my god, there's just so much in there. It's just a lot. It's just a lot.
We're going to be doing a lot more of the
4-episode nights,
2-3 episode or 3-4 episode things.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I will leave it with not leave it with this, but I will kind of bring it all together. So the thing that makes My Hero Academia so unique is that it has the best of the big 3 all in one. It has style, it has grace, it has, it knows how to deal with like flashbacks and stuff like that. It understands pacing well. Every episode of season 1 feels super full of things that happen. I think
it also has a lot to go ahead.
Like the even bits that like that feel like a little lesser like still work, and they're still better than some of the anime episodes I've seen in the recent years. I can 100% see now exactly why this series is getting the praise it's getting. I can 100% see now, like, okay, this is why people are freaking out about the series. This is why people really like it. You know, I 100% understand. My one tiny issue, it's very small, but my one tiny issue is it would be how they. I like all the characters, but I feel that, like, how do I word this? There are certain characters that I guess I personally would have liked to see a little bit more of.
Sure.
And I don't. And obviously, the second season will fill me in on some of that. Hopefully.
Second season has twice the episode count, so there's more time to work with those characters. So.
Okay. I'm like that's my one qualm. It's just I like seeing 13. I like seeing Aizawa. I want to see more of the teachers. I want to see more, you know, of I want to see them do cool stuff, and I already know that there's some sort of tournament thing that happens.
It's a motherfucking tournament arc.
There's some Dragon Ball Z shit in there.
Yeah.
Not to go on a tangent, but I know that Dragon Ball Super is a thing right now, and I can't.
Just not. I don't know. I can't do it either, dude. Like I've been thinking about Dragon Ball Z a lot, specifically, just because, like, you know, the Arc System games come out, Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah, of course.
That looks hype. And, you know, it's just, I keep thinking on it. I want to go back to it, but I kind of want to do a rewatch of Dragon Ball Z. You know, just maybe Kai or something like that, something like an abridged version of it. Just because I feel like, and it's mostly because of My Hero Academia, because I'm trying to figure like how much like Dragon Ball Z informs so much. Like, you know, we've just finished talking about a shitload of shonen anime, but like Dragon Ball Z kind of informed, like it laid the groundworks for so much of that shit, you know. But it has its own flaws too. Everything you hear about Super is that it's like, yeah, it's okay, you know, at best, and some people say that it's bad. So like, I don't know if I'm ready to watch that yet.
I would make the argument that Super being a thing is like watching a show that has gone on for 20 plus years, still trying to do.
It's like, it feels like watching The Simpsons. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
A little bit. Like, you could love The Simpsons when we're like back in its heyday, but like now it's like, all right, it's been a while, man.
Yeah, dude. Well, and I feel like this is a very misleading title, but to kind of round it back. The reason I kind of mentioned Dragon Ball was like it's interesting that you have a reiteration or a new version of one of these founder series, kind of.
Sure.
One of these 80s children. We have two 80s children, three technically if you count Berserk.
Oh wow! Yeah,
we have Berserk, JoJo, Dragon Ball. I think there might be a couple more in there, but we have some 80s. We have some 80s series that are being remastered and
Fist of the North Star is Fist of the North Star, isn't that coming out with a new?
I think so.
It might be a manga. Or it's a
Berserk 80s.
Yeah,
Berserk's 80s.
Oh wow, it's been going on that long.
I want to say it's 80s.
Yeah, or if it's
I
not,
thought it was
very
like
early 90s.
It
could be very early 90s, like 90,
both.
91. But
I mean,
in that era, dude, like way before Naruto.
But the point is that, you know, we have some of these founding series, or big influences, I should say.
Yeah.
That are really making these impacts and stuff like that, and they're coming back. And the one thing I will say that I just very much appreciate about My Hero Academia is it's the same reason I think I like Tiger and Bunny so much. Where because it's like in series like that, it's not on the nose, or how do I word this? Naruto isn't a hero. He is a character who does heroic acts, but, you know, and if you see him as a hero, that's one thing. But these characters straight up go like, yeah, we're the good force, we're Justice League, we're Marvel, we're Avengers, kind of bullshit.
Sure.
And there's something so charming about that.
Sure, absolutely.
They're trying to be unambiguously.
Yeah, unambiguously just, you know, and I agree with you. I like it, and it's like a very much a blending of, and I'm always down for. I say this a lot. I always love it when Western and Eastern cultures kind of mix. And that's why also I like Tiger and Bunny a lot, is because that was kind of a riff, an anime, a Japanese like take on a superhero show, you know, and same with My Hero Academia. Like it asking what it means to be a hero is a question that's been asked a lot, but it's still one that I think has interesting answers to it, and that's why I think, you know, specifically Deku as a character is compelling, because he's like, all of his traits have been done before, and all of the show has been done before basically in other shows. It's just that it congeals together in such a strong, solid package that you can't help rooting for it and its characters.
I'd also like to make the argument that the thing that I think makes Deku so likable, at least for me, is unlike Ichigo, unlike Luffy, unlike Naruto, Goku, like, let me keep listing these heroes off, is that the thing that I like about Deku the most is the fact that, one, his power does have some form of kickback,
sure,
which was one of the things that I really liked about Suna from Katsuki Hitman Reborn.
Yep.
It's a trait I very much appreciate and very much look in for my characters, and like I like that it has a kickback, but I also like the fact that he a lot of those characters that I listed off are all characters where it's like, you have to use your instincts, the battle instinct. Goku, use your fighting. If your muscles are bigger, then you could pound harder into your opponent, and then the energy beams will blow them up. Boom.
Sure.
It's not just, you know, power leveling.
Yeah, no, of course not. Deku's smart as shit.
Yeah.
All these characters are smart. They all deserve to be in their spot, except for Mineta. But they all deserve to be where they are because they're all incredibly smart kids, and that's what makes the show interesting. It's not that they're just stupidly powerful. Like that was one thing I really liked about the Bakugo fight. Remember, Bakugo does that maneuver where he had to get the trajectory just right.
Sure.
He might not be as smart as Deku, but he's more, you know, he's combat savvy. He knows what he needs to do, which is totally derailing the exact point I was making about characters not, you know, being battle instinct based. But
it's not even that. But he's savvy. He like, you know, I think even a character called out like, wow, like he might be a hothead, but he's smarter than he looks. You know, he's not just a rageaholic. You know.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, even in like the last 4 episodes, you see one of the characters mention that he is very cool and collected in battle.
Right.
He also figures out the weakness of one of the guys at the very end.
Yeah.
Like. It's just cool. Everything about the heroes are cool. The fact that they're smart is a real awesome thing.
And I just hope it doesn't devolve into who can make the biggest chakra fart, you know?
Go ahead.
Well, it's like, you know, I hope that Hiroaka continues to ride that fine line where it's like the characters are smart, but you're not doing like JoJo's like logic flipping
yeah,
all the time. Because like while JoJo's like, you know, schemes on top of schemes within more schemes is great, I think that, you know, for a show like Hiroaka, it's really nice to see it sort of all grounded a little bit.
The schemes, the top of scheme things eventually goes away. Like
in JoJo's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it? Oh man.
I one of the reasons I really like Part 7 was because of that, honestly. Where the fights become more like about how your understanding of the situation.
Sure.
Granted, it's like JoJo's continues to evolve, so it's hard to really characterize it as one thing.
Yeah. But like I'm like I said, season 1 was fucking great. I will totally. I'm gonna see if I can get like I know we did our Saturday or our Sunday group watch. I'm gonna see if I can convince maybe a couple friends to watch it too, because
cool.
Like I think that this is a really good series. And I'm really glad that this was one of the series we decided to watch for Saturday streams. It kind of feels weird that they're not Saturday streams for the Velvetcast. It feels kind of weird that we finished one, but at the same time, I'm very happy that like, you know, we got this through. And I guess if I had any like last lingering kind of thoughts on season 1, it would be that like I'm, like I said, very excited for the next season. It's really I had a thought as the last scenes were happening, which was, if the series just ended here, how would I feel about it?
Right.
I would still consider it very solid, but I would say it would be a shame that it didn't continue, and I would want to immediately go find the manga.
Same here. Yeah, well, I think season. And this is the thing. I think season 2 has made season 1 way better for me, frankly, because when I finished season 1, I was like, okay, yeah, like that was really good, and I'll be there for season 2 day 1, but I wasn't as hype and ready to sing its praises as I am now after seeing season 2, because season 2 kind of fulfilled the promises, in my opinion, of what season 1 laid out. So yeah.
All right, Josh, is there any last things you want to say about season 1? I feel like we got it all out. We went all over the map, honestly.
For the most part, I think that like season 1 was definitely pretty great. Coming into it, I actually did not finish season 1 of the anime, since like I sort of stopped watching around the end of the Bakugo fight. But I'm glad that I stuck around, because that last battle with All Might was pretty damn great. I sort of forgotten a lot of the details of the fight.
I would also like to add, watching McCree shoot that guy 4 times was pretty fucking great.
Pretty good.
You know what the sad part was? I think we made a joke or two here and there about like, man, why would you need a quirk if you just had a gun? and now I know quirks and guns.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's just like sort of. I have to hand it to Studio Bones for adapting the manga so well.
Yeah,
because it's like, like it's a great manga, but seeing it translated over to anime, like, though there are some parts that I don't necessarily agree with some of the decisions, I definitely appreciate that they put so much work into like making an awesome anime for this awesome manga.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job of keeping it well paced so that every episode feels meaningful and I don't know. God bless.
Yeah, and it's like season 2 seems like it just gets better, so I'm super excited to continue watching with you guys.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. Let's not talk about the sad thing we had to talk about today.
Really? We're gonna skip it? We're gonna just not even...
No. Yeah, let's not talk about...
I have some things to talk about.
All right, okay. So, I wasn't sure what we were going to do cooking. Here's the deal. Josh, you didn't see Justice League. I didn't see Justice League, but you saw Justice League.
I did.
Let's just... My Hero Academia is amazing.
Yes.
You know it's not amazing, apparently?
Justice League.
All right, so why don't you give me a 2-sentence review.
It looks so ugly switching from like the Justice League. All the color is just gone.
Yeah.
It's all just red and blue and black.
My 2-sentence review.
Yeah.
This movie has a lot of problems, but I'd be willing to watch more. Okay.
That's 2 sentences that it's completely non-spoilers. And I think that's a good place to end today.
Okay.
I will try my best to go see a showing. I don't really want to go see it.
Justice League. If you don't want to go see it, then don't go see it. Honestly, like it's fine. Like it's. This is going way past my 2 sentences now. It's a superhero movie, and that's it. It's not a Marvel movie. I think Marvel is 1 tier above superhero movie, and that's the reason why they've stayed as successful as they are, because they're consistently above the bar. Maybe Thor 2 excluded, whatever. But. Yeah, I don't know. I think Justice League it's fine. It's a comic book movie. It's a dumb action movie, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think we all learned a valuable lesson today about heroes and how Japan is just nailing it right now. All right.
Japan's better at doing superheroes than the US.
I don't know if I'd say.
Yeah, no. If we only had DC.
If we only had DC films. I honestly really like DC the reason why I want to see more is because I'm attached to those characters, those DC characters. If I can't recommend this to anybody that doesn't know, if they're not significantly invested in at least 3 of the 5 Justice League members, then I would say don't go see it.
I really love the Batman and the Superman animated series and the Justice League growing up, but it's like I don't know if I'm at all interested in watching that movie.
You know what bothers me about... Hang on. You know what? Fuck it. If we're going to keep talking about it, I'm just going to put it back up. You know what bothers me about Justice League and the idea of what DC's doing? they have like tons of cool properties.
Yeah.
They have Fables. They have Red Hood. They have like a lot of interesting things that they could do. Like, I think the best way they could have handled the DC EU, is that what they're calling it? Like, because it's their extended universe.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
Like, I think the best way they could have handled it was not focus on these chuckle fucks on the screen right now, but focus on like do the Red Hood storyline. Have Nightwing try to find out who the fuck Red Hood is, and then play a little bit of role reverse. Kind of hint that Batman's out there doing something. We've seen Batman for like 15 plus years now.
Yeah.
And like, couldn't we? Like, I would love it if we would just focus on another character.
It would be cool. It would be.
It'd be risky, but I think it would be cool.
It would be risky, and then that's where I'd have to give Suicide Squad credit, because I think Suicide Squad was that movie, right? Yeah. It just didn't end up being very good, you know?
Yeah. Well, I feel like they're trying too hard. Suicide Squad was the perfect example of them trying way too hard to perform what a Marvel film can do.
Right.
Because they saw Guardians.
Yep.
And they were like, let's do that, and then it just fell apart. And I think ultimately, what would be cool is stop using these 5 heroes. Just stop using them, because we know that these characters exist. And there's way more interesting characters in DC's repertoire than these 5.
That's true. But I will say that these characters were... I don't know. I don't know. It's weird to say that they're my favorite part of the movie, because they're mostly the entire movie, basically. Like, there's... I don't know. I really like seeing these characters on screen. Like, there are like moments in this movie where it's like, I want to see more of these interactions. You know what I mean? Like, it has those Avengers moments sometimes where you see 2 characters have Joss Whedon-esque quips.
I was gonna say, yeah, because Whedon.
Yeah, right. But it's still like in different ways, though. You know what I mean? Like, where it's specifically like I will only get that from these specific characters, these specific cast. And not from.
I think it's a bit dangerous to sort of boil down superhero movies into, Joss Whedon-esque.
Come on!
It's true. It's true. No,
I'm sorry. Are we supposed to use fucking Zack Snyder and his amazing ideology?
It's not that, but it's like, if it's DC, I'd at least appreciate if they did something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
I appreciate that they took a risk with the Zack Snyder stuff, but I don't know.
I don't think it's panned out.
Josh, a risk would have been ending it at Man of Steel. That they didn't take a risk. They were at like 13. They were like, bet 18, bet. and it just kept not working for them.
And they're just busting now. Yeah.
The fact that Snyder came back for 3 films, like,
yeah,
it's the result of like boardrooms sort of making the films rather than like filmmakers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that Wonder Woman did very well, and I thought was a very solid movie in my opinion, like, that gives me hope for the DC universe. Frankly, with and I don't know if I can lay all the blame out at Zack Snyder's feet. I really
no, of course not. Of course not. I feel like there's a very general problem with DC, and that's simply the tone.
I will say the tone in Justice League is way lighter. It's probably the most lighthearted DC movie I've watched. Wonder Woman's close, but yeah.
When Dark, I feel like people have become obsessed with the EUs and the MCUs and the U's in general, universes, that we forget that Dark Knight was a thing.
Yeah,
and Dark Knight was the realistic, like the quote unquote realistic take on Batman, and that was an interesting watch, and that was fun to do.
It's good, yeah, and that was a good realistic take.
But we don't have to continue having that dark fucking theme.
And I will say, like, as far as Batman v Superman tried to take that tone, Justice League definitely, I think, pivots almost in a way that's jarring almost. Even Batman, the Batman from Justice League feels like a kind of a different character than he did in Batman v Superman. Like, he's making dumb quips too, and in a fight, like in one of the fights in the midway through, he's just immediately calls him like, Alfred, I need the bat tank or whatever the fuck it was called or whatever, and then a giant fucking tank comes, it looks like something out of Star Wars, like a bipedal tank that was walking around on walls and shit.
Like a West, I was say Wild West.
Wild West, yes.
The giant mechanical tarantula,
yeah. So it's just like, okay, like this is like almost like an Adam West-esque bat. Not that's too far, but. Like, goofy wacky gadget Batman, is definitely strong in this movie, as opposed to dark, brooding Batman.
I will also say this. Let's give credit to the fact that this is one of the most interesting years for comic books. I know this is going all the way back, but we had Logan come out this year. Lego Batman came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
We had 2 different Marvel films, which names escape me right now.
Thor and
There was one more.
Well, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Guardians.
Guardians. That was
3.
Those are the 3. Yeah, I was about to say.
Look, we had tons and I will also go out of my way and say Kingsman.
Sure.
Like, this was an interesting year. We had tons and tons of comic book movies, and the sad truth of the matter is I have no intention to go see Justice League. I will go see it for the show, but because it would give us something to talk about. But to be honest with you, I feel like we already just did.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that I recommend it, but I won't tell people to not go see this movie, but I'm not going to be like, guys, you need to see Justice League. Like, this is...
Well, it's not like Thor Ragnarok.
No.
And the sad part is, I honestly think if you just gave me like a month to sit on a movie, it would have been okay. But the fact that they came out 2 weeks apart really fucked them on this. And the sad part is, I know this movie's going to do better. I know this movie's going to do way better than Thor Ragnarok.
You think so? It already has a opening. Its opening weekend right now is looking at 90 million. Thor's was 115.
Okay, never mind. I'm going to back down for that statement.
I think they're in serious trouble because I think all this bullshit with Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad have finally caught up with them. That being said, Suicide Squad had a long tail, right? Like, it kept doing really well afterwards. So maybe that's really the same thing with this movie. I don't know.
All right. Well, let's get back. Let's just close. I don't want to stop. I don't want to keep looking at these guys.
Okay.
All right.
That's
so we're gonna end the episodes of colorful heroes that are fun to look at.
Yay!
So
Oh man.
everyone, this is going to be the end of the episode for today. I know that this is kind of cutting it short, but we really only had like these 2 subjects, and even then, we were only going to do the 1 subject, and then kind of just did the secondary. God, my phone's blowing up.
It's just the Discord.
Okay. But so, guys, just want to say real quick, if you like this video, give it a like. If you want to leave a comment down below, leave a comment, and if you haven't already subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. If you have not. How do I word this? If you want to support us, the show is supported through the Patreon. Without you guys, probably wouldn't be doing the show.
Right.
And your guys' support always lets us continue making awesome shows. Because we hit the monetary marker of $100 a month, we are going to be starting to try to make the move to audio platforms, and we're looking right now into the podcasts on iTunes. That's the current platform that we're looking at right now. Aaron's researching that for me, so that's going to be a thing. So yeah. Anyways, guys, next time on the Velvet Room.
Cool. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for listening.
We'll be talking more about My Hero Academia Season 2. We're going to watch episodes at least 1 and 2.
Yes!
Also, tomorrow, you guys get fucking Persona. And the Velvetcast comes back on Wednesday. No more improvs, no more Q&As. You get Chapter 3. So,
nice.
And then at some point, Super Mario comes back. Sorry, are you streaming this week? No, you're not. It's Thanksgiving.
I'm home. Yeah, it's Thanksgiving.
I guess we're not doing anything Thursday.
Sorry, guys.
Yes.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, sorry. All right, anyways. Next time on The Velvet Room.
Cool.
All right,
guys.
Bye.